All right. So I'm here with the most colorful lady that I've ever met, Miss DeBorah Beatty. So welcome to the Card Deck Interview Success Series, where you're
Thanks.
going to show us all about your amazing new card deck that I have in my hand right here. So DeBorah, I'm going to let's just start out the gate because people, they want to get down to the nitty gritty and know, like, why did you even want to make a deck of cards?
Honestly, I have no idea. I looked at books, publishing another book. My first book is Disconnect Your Autopilots, and I've been coaching on that topic for years. And I thought, oh, well, maybe a card deck would be better. And I took your course. And the one thing that you said that just, lit up all kinds of things inside was that a card deck is actually better than another book. It's easier to work with. It's more fun. It's more engaging than just another book on the pile. And I started thinking about, well, what could I make a card deck on? And I had no idea. And one of the parts in my signature program has to do with color energy and working on that to get at who you are inside, who you were meant to be, who you were born to be, because a lot of my stuff is, be who you're born to be, not who you've been told to be.
Yeah.
And, how do you get at that? And so I started thinking about the whole coloricity, everything, and it was just like a major download that this all came into place, because I work with a system of 9 color rays, and each ray has an attribute. And I went, oh, that's perfect. Then I figured, well, we'll try the avatars, and oh, that worked. Oh, that's cool. And before I knew it, I had an 84 card deck.
Wow. And I have to say, this is one of the biggest ones. There's a lot of cards here. And I don't know if everyone could see, though, that there just is all these great colors.
Well, there's 9 colors, 9 avatars, and 3 power cards.
So that worked out amazing. So I love that you actually saw how you can systematically, like, teach something to somebody just using that same knowledge that you would have put in a book, but having it really in almost gamifying it in a way, but
Exactly.
in a powerful way. So I love this so much. So who are these cards for?
Basically anybody who's looking for any sort of internal guidance. You can pull 1 card for a day. If you're, say for instance, you're wondering about, you have all these ideas going through your head and you don't know which one to go, and you're just really struggling because you're feeling so fractured and everything. And you pull 1 card for your day and you come up with the home card. And what the home card is it's a place of rest, and it's telling you to see what shakes out. Or you could come out with yellow emergence, which is coming out from behind the veil, and yellow being the beginning of the dream and the vision and reason, and starting to really just step into that dream and start talking about it and come out and be a little more public with it. All of those things, they come into, you can pull 1 card and settle yourself a little bit. You can meditate on it, you can journal on it, you can do any of that kind of thing.
Which I love that, because it takes away the objection that, oh my God, I don't have time for that. Or, like, it just kind of, you don't need a lot of time, right, to settle yourself in.
Exactly.
I love that. So this is how gorgeous, look at this, all these beautiful colors. I didn't shuffle them yet because they look so nice.
That's okay. I got mine shuffled.
So why don't you take us through, like if you were going to do, so I know you can just pull one a day, which is always great, but if someone wanted to do some kind of a reading or something, give us, give the audience a reading of how this would,
Sure,
how that would
sure.
work.
The way that I normally do it is I'll go ahead and I will, pardon me, shuffle
We have
them.
to shuffle.
Yep. I will shuffle them and then I will divide them into 3 piles, and for past, present, and future. So I just did that. So
Okay.
what I come up with is, first card is a Rose Harbinger for the past. Now, one of the things that I include is I have a little booklet that I have in with the deck that will tell you what the cards mean and what, just a real brief thing. I'm working on a companion book to go with it,
Very
a
nice.
bigger book that'll tell you more spreads, more detail.
Nice.
But this is the way to get you started. And what Rose is for, it's an understanding softened by living. It's experiential knowledge, blending the spiritual with the physical. Because Rose is an upper octave of red, which is the primal, rough energy, just all self and that kind of thing. Harbinger is that dream that's on the horizon, that spot on the horizon that you can see, but you can't quite make out. It's not clear. And so if I had somebody that got a Rose Harbinger, I would say that for their past, that would mean that they have spent their time knowing that there's something on the horizon and working to get towards that. And they've lived a rich life, going from the spiritual into, going from the physical into the spiritual, to get more visibility on what that dream is and bring it in. The next one I have is an indigo emergence, which is your presence, which is coming out from behind the veil, standing forth and saying, yes, this is what I believe in. And indigo has within it potential, possibility, all those things. So you finally have gotten a closer look at what it is that you want. And as indigo, you're looking for ways to be able to step forward and step into it. And the last one is one of my favorites. It's a blue planifest. Now, planifesting is planning to manifest and manifesting your plan. Blue.
I love that. That's the first time I've heard that word.
Well, it's my word. I made it.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why. I love that. That's great.
And blue is communication, but clarity of message. So in the future, it's time to plan how you're going to implement this dream that you've had for all of your life, and to manifest it and bring it forth. And so that would be a reading that I would do. I usually focus on the colors first and then the avatars.
Right, because you have 2 things going on here. So the colors are really important. The avatars are really important. So in your booklet, you explain, I guess, what the colors mean and also what the avatar means.
What the avatars mean. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like if you do a spread of 4 cards or 3 cards, you're telling you have a story that you're telling.
Yes.
Kind of creating a story.
And when I do shows, I do oracle card readings with these.
Oh, nice.
And
that's always
pretty
fun.
much, people come and ask the question, and I tell them, I don't even need the question. You don't have to tell me what the question is. And I'll do that. And this is your past, this is your present, this is your future. And every time it's been, really on target. So
that's so great. And so you had mentioned to me that creating this card deck has opened up a whole bunch of possibility for you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've been a coach working on my autopilot program for basically since 2004. And it was always banging my head against the wall because I was the world's best kept secret. No matter what I did, no matter who I followed, I tried implementing all these kinds of things. And I started my first business at 6. I'm going to be 70. I have a long history of starting in businesses and making them work and that kind of thing. I always laugh and say I've worked in every field from agribusiness to Zen studio design, And so when I took your card, it was your card deck course. It was like a light went on that I have this part, which is just a small part of what I do, that's marketable, but it has opened up so many of the doors,
Right.
because now I'm doing Colorisity natal charts. I'm doing card readings at metaphysical shows. I'm selling card decks in the at the shows and in the local stores.
I love it.
And it's just kind of, now people are getting to know me through the Colorisity, and they want to know more about what I do. And so it's opening up my new program. I've renamed it, instead of being Disconnect Your Autopilot, it's Betrayal to Badass Path.
Can I throw some of your confetti around?
You can.
Because this comes with the cards, this emergency confetti. And just hearing that, I feel like throwing it all around, but I don't want to have to clean it up after. But just pretend that I'm throwing this all around.
And there's a warning on the back too.
Oh, contains glitter. Please open in the presence of children. I love it. So good. So good. I love that so much, because you just proved to me my philosophy is that these card decks are like a seed, that you plant them and they just grow, and out of it grows all this business opportunity that you could not have imagined from this really amazing product. And so I love that so much. And
I have 2 more decks in the works. So,
I mean, that's the thing too. So welcome to the serialness of becoming a card deck creator, which is like what I tell everyone. Once you have the skill of doing it, you can use this tool all the time, which is so great. So let me ask you a question. What was the creation process like for you?
Oh, it was my second favorite creative endeavor ever. I am a wordsmith and a writer, and obviously with Planifest, and I have a lot of, like, autopilot is spelled OUGHTA.
I love that. I wanted to mention that. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that's so good.
And I was raised in the islands, where English was not the standard language. And I come from, Bostonian parents. And so English was spoken in the home. But yet when I went to school, I was taught it as if it were a second language. And bored. Oh my God, I was so bored. And that's when I discovered that the English language is the best toy box in the world. You can go in there, you can tear words apart, you can mispronounce them and make them so much better, so much richer, so much, and so
fun.
Discovering that was first. But through all my experiences, I also was a graphic designer for a while. And so this gave me an excuse and an opportunity to go back and dig out all my graphics tools and, a lot of the artwork on there. Well, it's all my art, but some of it I started with stock photos and changed them. And some of them is my own artwork. And it was just such a great thing to have a reason to go play.
Yeah, right. We need that. We really need that play part. And yeah, and so what I love too is that in creating it, we're playing, but then when you're teaching someone something or sharing something with something or inspiring them, they're playing, your audience is playing too. So it's like, yeah, it's the best. I love it. So good. So good. So what did you learn about yourself during this creation process?
Well, I've always been pretty determined, and I've always listened to my own guidance. I get input from other people, but the be all and end all for decision making and choice making is my own gut. And I really, through this whole process, because this is like the third iteration of this deck. I started out, they looked very, very different in the beginning. And I got some input and everything, but too many cards or what are you going to do with these? Why are you doing this? Can you do readings with them? All that kind of input really forced me to dig really deep in the creation process. And I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I'm pretty impressed with who I found myself to be as a creator, and that gave me the impetus to go on after I got the card deck out there and I found out that it was successful and it was useful. It gave me the impetus to go on, and now I'm creating, my whole Betrayal to Badass Path program that's going to be, a year program. And it helps in my coaching side as well. And just so many things it opened up, giving me a little more self-confidence to reach out and try and experiment. And, Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try. And I don't like the word try because it's really, although it's a verb, it's not an action. You can't show somebody try.
Right.
And, but experiment, all people can say is no, and you will never die from a no.
That's a good point.
I
love it.
You might take a hit to your ego, but you'll never die from a no. So just keep going and believe in yourself.
Yeah. Excellent. So where can people, what do you have coming up now? Like you're creating this year-long course, but what do you have coming up now? And where can people, we'll put the links below where people can come and get your cards, but anything else that you're doing that you want people to know about?
Well, I am now offering natal charts using the Colorisity system. It tells, what they tell you is, working with the 9 colors, it will tell you who you are in the world. It'll tell you your basic motivations. It'll tell you who you are when you think nobody's looking, your secret self. And it will tell you the lessons you're here to learn. And it's, I've developed a mathematical algorithm that helps me predict that based on your birth name and your birth date. And so those have been really, really popular because people want to know,
Yeah, really fun. Really fun.
And there's that. There's, as I said, I've got another, a companion booklet. It's going to be a much thicker booklet in the works for how to do more than just the 3 or the 9 card layout, and more in depth about what the colors mean and what the avatars actually signify. And so I'm working on that as well. I've got a retreat that I'm putting together for November in Cannon Beach, Oregon. I've just got a lot of things. I'm looking for speaking gigs, and all this stuff is going to be on my website. So
excellent. I love it. So we'll put all the links below this video, so anyone that wants to get in touch with that. So this is really, I'm just so excited about them, and so excited for you to have unleashed a whole different part of you to be able to share your good stuff. So,
well, I never, I have what's called synesthesia. When I meet people,
is that another one of your words?
No, it isn't actually. What synesthesia is your brain process sensory input differently. There are people who taste music, or they get a scent of, for instance, if you hear something, it occurs as a scent instead. I mean, something gets kind of crossed in the wires. Me, I perceive people as colors. I get a feeling of almost like a mist, but it's a color when I meet people. And until about 10 years ago, I never realized that was a thing, that everybody didn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like children blind from birth never know, they don't know what they're missing because that's all they've ever known. And so somebody convinced me that it is a thing and it's something that I can use to also teach other coaches. It's a way that they can get to know their clients a lot better. There's all this systemology to it that I can then share. And so I'm really looking into documenting and turning this into a really serious type of study, in addition to the fun part with the cards.
So good. So good. I love it. I wanted to show everybody. So you get the cards come in this beautiful tin, which keeps them nice and safe. You get your instruction pamphlet, and it comes in this gorgeous, colorful box with a ribbon and a beautiful, gorgeous. So that's what you get with this card deck, along with all the yumminess that you'll discover.
Confetti.
Oh, and the confetti. Yeah, let me not forget that, the confetti too. So yeah, so this beautiful card deck that is way more than a card deck. It is really something to help you really just learn about yourself and settle in and take your next step. So fantastic job. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.